All right, this is my daily update for my build and public log. It's March 25th, 2025. So I have some new audio equipment, so I'm hoping the audio from this point on is much better than before. I'm trying to slowly up my game here, people. But the thing that's going to really up my game more than anything is releasing this goddamn product. I made a little bit more progress on getting the MVP done for Agents Code, my AI agent API service. So what have I done? I've done a bunch of miscellaneous things. I'm working on redoing the user flow. So when you click, go, or you click buy, or you're forced to sign up for an account. So that way I have your correct email address. And then if you want to buy credits, you can. I decided to give free credits for people who sign up so you can actually play around, call the API, and run some agents so you know what the hell you're buying before you commit. So yeah, I'm racing to get this finished. It's Tuesday and I've gotten a little bit done, but I got stuck on something so stupid today. I'll get to that in a minute, but I had to set up a lot of miscellaneous things. Clerk, I had to do to go into production, to get Stripe into production. I've been doing a lot of setup for those two services. With Clerk, it was actually adding real apps for Google, for GitHub, so you can sign in, sign up, getting DNS settings set up, boring stuff like that. So today it was not overly productive, and then I got stuck on something really weird. So embarrassing. So not too much more to show. Things are still broken. I'm trying to get things working and done. I'm hoping to have a demo later this week still, so bear with me. I'm almost there. When you work 1 hour a day, it's the needle doesn't move very quickly. So anyways, what did I get blocked on? So stupid. So I'm self-hosting everything. And I added Clerk, like the production keys. I tried to go to the dashboard here. You can see it's broken. And it said the clock, something about the clock being off. And I was like, the clock being off? What in the hell? How could the clock be off? You know what I mean? This is a pretty legit server. I was like, how is the clock off? And so I asked, AI, actually I asked Claude. And it's well, I don't know, your clock is off on your server time versus the time they're expecting. For security, you need your time correct. Because think about it, if suddenly so think about it, a request comes in and the time on the request versus it's off. It looks like a man in the middle. Do you see when good auth, this is why auth is really hard. Auth is actually, you really have to know what you're doing. Because think about it, if suddenly the request comes in and it looks like, why did the request take so long? It looks like you're being man in the middle. There's something in the middle intercepting and relaying. That's what it appears like. That's why it's vital that it's it checks the time and goes oh yeah, okay. The time checks out. So I was why did the stupid AI, this is more proof that we're not being replaced by AI anytime soon. And I had no idea what was wrong. And I was oh, I know what's wrong. Did I block it with the firewall? Oh, wow, that's a great idea. Yeah, you probably, I'm stupid AI. I had to figure it out. It didn't figure it out. So that's what I got stuck on for a little while was, oh shit, I accidentally blocked it with the firewall because it has, the server has to periodically sync its clock. You would think that a server would keep its own time, but remember it's virtualized. So there's weird hiccups when you virtualize things where the clock starts to drift. So it has to keep it synced up with a time server, which is, powered by an atomic clock. And once I unblocked that port and forced it to sync and I updated the servers anyways to what ones I prefer, it's working. So one of many just dumb things I keep getting stuck on. The other thing I got stuck on was the content security policy, that's causing a lot of pain. So many little dumb things to get this launched. So I'm getting there. It's almost done. All right, that's the update for today. Like, I'm going to continue on. There's a bunch of small little things I need to get fixed. So nothing yet. You can't log into a dashboard, but soon when this is ready, you'll be able to sign in, get some free credits, and start calling agents via the API. All right, here's my new microphone, by the way. I think it's much better. So no questions or comments today. Yeah, not too much interesting is happening. I think it'll be more interesting very soon. So moving on to my random story for today. Speaking of clocks and very precise time, time is a weird thing. If you're a software engineer and you've written any software that deals with multiple people and multiple time zones, you know how crazy complicated it can get. I've built software for scheduling people in multiple locations and multiple time zones, and then having like sequential or back-to-back visits. Let me tell you, that's one of the worst things you could do in software is dealing with this, because time is a mindfuck. It really is. You think it's deceptively simple. You're just sitting there like, well, I just saw a minute go by. No, it's strangely complicated, especially syncing people up. And just something so trivial like my server, oops, the clock got blocked. It couldn't sync and the time drifted and things started to fail. So, I have lived abroad the last 10 years and I've traveled and been in all these different time zones. And I've had to coordinate because I worked remotely for US companies. I dated people in other countries. I have friends and family in other countries. Time zones are something very near and dear to my heart because it's something I've had to live with for so long. And I was like, okay, I need a watch. Like you have your phone, your phone syncs to the time services. The problem that my server experienced, your phone automatically is always syncing itself back up to the nearest atomic clock. I like old school watches, and I was like, when I learned about this watch, I was like, I have to have this watch. So years ago, God, maybe like 8 years ago, apparently this watch is worth money now. I don't know. But years ago, I bought myself this watch. I got some extra money for some reason. I don't remember the circumstances. Or it was my birthday or something, and I bought this for myself. So this is one of the older Seiko Astron watches. What is cool? Well, how does this have to do with time? Rolexes are shockingly, notoriously bad. They lose their time. Surprisingly, you think for all that money, because it's not. It's you wind the thing up, but like when you wind it, that thing doesn't stay accurate. So I like old school watches like this. And what drew me to this was, if you're not familiar with like watches and time and the history of that, it's pretty interesting. The Seiko Astron, the original one in the 1960s, was the very first wrist watch that had a quartz crystal in it. So back in the 60s, you had the big grandpa clocks, like big mechanical clock in someone's house, and someone always had to fiddle with it and set it. Well, back then they had the old fashioned clock on the wall, like at a school or something that just slowly ticks. Back in the day, they had quartz clocks that were far, far, far more accurate. That was, that became pretty standard in houses and offices, and because back in like the 60s or whatever, you got to know what time it was. All the employees to get trains running on time, airplanes. Everyone had to know. Everyone had to have pretty accurate time tracking for services to work. That was fine for a big clock on the wall, but no one had ever built a quartz watch except for that until Seiko did, Japanese company, and they called it the Astron. So this is an iconic name because they were the first to miniaturize this technology and put it in a watch. So this was a huge deal. And then they brought this line back to make a GPS synced watch. So this is pretty cool. This has different time zones, okay? And you could even set one to like your home time. So for me, that'd be like where most of my family is in California. You can set it to there. And what's two things are really cool about it. Why is it worthy of the Astron name? It's one of the first watches to sync itself to the leap second. There's a leap second, there's leap day, and there's leap seconds, by the way. This thing, you go outside and you push a button and it shows you like its connection to the GPS satellites. The GPS satellites have an atomic clock on the satellite. It's actually pretty cool tech. There's atomic clocks up there. You have to be to the, the exact point something seconds. It has to be exact to have GPS work. GPS works on time. So you walk outside and you push the button and that thing reads the time from multiple GPS satellites and then syncs itself to the leap second. And it's pretty badass. I should find a video. When you do it and you so think about it. I'm on a plane and I go across the world and I get off the plane. So when I would wear this, I'd go outside, I would push the button and the thing spins and sets to the time zone, and it knows it because it's looking at the GPS and knows your location exactly to the leap second where you are. So it sets itself to the exact second, hour, and it sets itself to the time zone. Very, very fucking cool watch. Like, I love this watch so much. I'm shocked to see that it's $2,500 because that apparently it's worth more than I bought. And it's solar powered. The battery never runs out. So if it's sitting in a box for a long time, you're going to have to set it out into direct sunlight for like 12 hours or something to recharge it, which I need to do to mine. But I love this watch, and it was so cool to me, the history, the fact that it's like literally when this came out, this was the most accurate wrist watch in the world. Traditional, like non-smart one, obviously an Apple Watches is, again, it goes to the nearest time server, syncs itself to an atomic clock. But this thing is off the grid. You don't need internet. You can go anywhere. And I went to Antarctica with this watch and I set it and it set itself to the exact time via the GPS in Antarctica. So pretty cool watch. I'm into this. I'm a nerd for this kind of stuff, but the ability to have precise time around the world has actually been like a shockingly revolutionary thing. And now enabled GPS, turn by turn, precise location. It has unlocked a lot of cool technology that we take for granted. So this all started with having someone figuring out a crystal, throwing it into a clock. A watch will keep more precise time. That vibration of the crystal, like who thought of this crap? Like this is, but that tech led us down to the road of what we have now. I love this watch. I'll never get rid of this watch, but I do wear a smartwatch now. I will admit, I put it on sometimes, but I like having the data that reads your pulse, your stress, your steps. I'm kind of addicted to the smartwatches now, but I still have a great fondness for these watches. So the next one I'm gonna buy, I like the Garmin watches, is also going to be a solar GPS watch because you gotta have it. And this watch has convinced me and sold me on solar for watches and for GPS on watch. Soon, I hope to get the next new and improved Garmin watch. But all right, that's all I got for today. If you find this interesting, please do me a favor and smash that like button. That helps the algorithm so much. All right, I will see you tomorrow.